To understand the tragedy that unfolded at Cashel in 1647, we must start long before that, back in the world of myth. Irish legends tell that the Rock of Cashel was hurled into existence by the devil himself. When St. Patrick banished the old pagan ways, the devil, cornered in fury, bit a chunk from the Devil's Bit mountain. The stone cracked his tooth. He spat it across the plains. It landed where Cashel now rises, its jagged limestone crest, destined to shape centuries of Irish history. Myth gave way to the monarchy. From the 4th century onwards, Cashel became the seat of the kings of Munster. Over generations, the Owenite dynasty ruled from these heights. Conall Cork, who first established Cashel as a royal fortress. Cormac mac Cuillenáin, the scholar king whose wisdom and death became legend. A line of warrior kings who forged alliances, fought rivals, and presided over Munster's destiny. In Patrick's baptism of King Aengus, said to have driven his staff through the king's foot without Aengus uttering a sound, merged royal power with Christian identity. In later centuries, Cashel evolved into the great cathedral. Towers, chapels, rose where kings once ruled. For over 1,000 years, Cashel was a place of power, faith and ceremony. But nothing would prepare it for the horror that arrived in 1647. In the mid-1600s, where an age of unrelenting turmoil, the wars of the Three Kingdoms tore across England, Scotland and Ireland. In Ireland, the Confederate Wars raged between the Irish Catholic forces, English Royalists, Scottish Covenanters and the Parliamentarians. Armies crisscrossed the lands, towns burnt, famine spread, and no place felt truly safe. Into the chaos rose Murragh O'Brien, Lord Inchiquin, a name spoken in fear. Born into a once Catholic Irish noble family, Inchiquin had thrown his support behind the Parliamentarians. His brutal raids earned him the title Murragh the Burner. By 1647, his forces were starving and unpaid. He needed plunder, he needed a symbolic victory, and Cashel, wealthy and lightly defended, was irresistible. Just days before his arrival, a proper garrison had left Cashel for action elsewhere, a disastrous stroke of timing. Those left behind were clergy, women and children, elderly townsfolk, refugees, and local militia with scarce weapons. Many believed the sacred rock would protect them, but the storm was drawing closer. On the night of September 14th, villagers climbed the battlements and saw in the distance lanterns and torchlight, Parliamentarian army moving forward like a bright river across the fields.
People whispered his name as if saying it loudly would summon him. Inchiquin, he's coming. Mothers grabbed their children. The priests prayed in the cathedral. Those of us with weapons tightened our grips and tried not to show fear.
As the sun rose, Inchiquin's forces appeared, disciplined, armed, relentless. Inside the rock, Archbishop Theobald Stapleton moved among the terrified, offering comfort. Captain James Butler rallied every man he could find. Children were ushered into the cathedral. Clergy hid precious relics. The elderly huddled near the altars. The defenders braced themselves behind crumbling walls and improvised barricades. Inchiquin's men surged up the steep slopes. Muskets cracked. Smoke rolled across the battlements. Local defenders fought desperately, dropping rocks, firing old matchlocks, shouting warnings. But they were too few.
They came like a wave. I fired once. The recoil nearly took my arm off when I tried to reload. My hands shook so badly the powder spilled everywhere. Dara beside me took a musket ball to the chest. He didn't even scream, just folded to the ground.
Within minutes, the soldiers had reached the gates. Within an hour, they broke through. The Parliamentarian troops flooded the complex. Panic exploded. Civilians ran in every direction. Monks tried to shield relics. Militia fought amongst the gravestones. Families clung to each other, yelling prayers. Clergy raised the crosses, begging for mercy. None was given.
I saw a mother push her daughter behind a tomb while she faced the soldiers head on. I saw priests being cut down as they tried to protect the altar. The air tasted of gunpowder and smoke. The screams, God, the screams.
The ones that hid in the round tower were thrown from its heights. The cathedral became the final refuge. Inside the great cathedral, hundreds gathered, praying, pleading, crying. Defenders formed a small shield wall near the entrance, but Inchiquin's troops smashed through it, muskets firing, bayonets thrusting. Blood pooled across the stone floor. The smoke of burning timber rose towards the vaulted ceilings. The echo of gunfire reverberated as soldiers advanced through the sacred nave. And at the heart of it all stood Archbishop Theobald Stapleton. Refusing to flee, he was captured, beaten, and executed. His death became the defining symbol of that day's horror. By midday, the killing was done. Between 700 and 1,000 civilians and defenders lay dead. The building smouldered. Centuries of manuscripts and relics were destroyed.
When it was over, you could hear nothing but the wind. I walked through the cathedral and could not step without touching the dead. I survived, though I don't know why. Something in me was left on that floor with the rest.
The sacking of Cashel stunned Ireland. A holy sanctuary had been desecrated. A bishop murdered. A community wiped out. Inchiquin marched away, loaded with loot, gold, chalices, vestments, livestock, and weapons. But the Rock of Cashel was broken. Its prestige shattered. Its relics destroyed. Its spirit deeply wounded. The site entered a long decline. Crowned by the removal of the cathedral's roof a century later, leaving the structure to the mercy of the wind and rain. Yet, Cashel did not fade from memory. It became a symbol of suffering, but also of endurance. Its ruins stand today as a testament to those who lived, fought, and died within its walls. Today, the Rock of Cashel is one of Ireland's most visited and cherished heritage sites. The same towers, chapels, and walls that witnessed the Tower of 1647 now welcome visitors from across the world. You can walk the battlements where defenders stood their ground. You can stand inside the cathedral where the final prayers were whispered. You can explore guided tours, learn about the kings and bishops who shaped Ireland's history. The rock endures, scarred, sacred, and unforgettable. A place where myth, faith, tragedy, and resilience all meet. A place that still speaks to us if we are willing to listen.